Do you know why nobody can do anything in the church? The faith it was Oyedebo's church. Do you know why people can do anything in the church? The faith it was Pastor Chris' church. Is it not Pastor Chris' church? Do you know why people can do anyhow? The faith that it is Oyedebo church, Adeboye church, redeemed. Is it not redeemed? That's what the faith. But the church is God's church. And it is God who will build his church. And it is God who is building his church. If not God that is building his church, who told you that devil would have beat out? The last thing devil want to see is the church of God. The last thing. Because that's the only place you can find salvation. That's the place you can reconcile with God. They want to kill you. Now you can run and enter a church. The mercy of God protects you. The hand of God protects you. They can even shoot you right in that place if you don't enter you again. Because of the mercy. The church is God's church. It is not anybody's church. So we have forgotten who owns this church. That's why you see people when they want to do services to God, they do it and they do it for money. Do you know why they do it for money? They have not known who owns the church. That's the reason why they are doing it for money. They don't know who owns the what? The church. They misplace the pastor for the owner of the church. Is he not? Is the pastor than you now? Wait now. As a police, I'm a man of God. I say, pastor, I know you man. Maybe you get that church. That big church. That's it. That's the next thing. See, if you allow the praises of man to deceive you, they will push you to the place where you can't see God again. They will push you to the place where you can't find God again. They will give you the place of God. Take the place of God and put you there. And you'll forget who have put you there. A manager cannot grow more than the CEO of the company. A manager is a manager. The CEO is the CEO. So if you are the manager, does not make you the owner of the company. Get it? You are just a manager. You can be fired. That's how a pastor is. A pastor is just a caretaker. That's why he said to Peter, he said, Simon Peter, feed my sheep. He said again, Simon Peter, feed my sheep. He repeated again, he said, Simon Peter, feed my sheep. That is, take care of my sheep. You are now, I'm giving you this sheep to manage. I'm giving you the church to manage the church. I'm not saying that you should take over. I say manage my church, but I will use you to manage it. Now I want to use your manager. And now we have taken the place. Ordinary manager we are. We are taking it. And we're taking the place of God. When you ask a believer, where you going? Say they go, my pastor church. When they are talking to their pastor, they say, Pastor, that's your church. Which one is your church? Your church. They are pointing it to you, your church. I ask, which one is your church? What is your church? Pastor, your church. Marvelous Kingdom Temple. Now your church. It's not my church. It is God's. Do you know? I think in Umbolu, not this flyover. The man of God finished all night with a powerful Simon, only to go back to the house. He did not wake up again. They buried him last month or last month. Another one even died again. Another one died again. Last week, I was shouting. Another one died again yesterday. The rumor still making. So who owns the church now? Why saying is the pastor? When the church can still continue without the pastor. The church can move without the pastor. But the church cannot march on without God. So in that, we have forgotten where we're coming from. It's Pastor Chris' church. So anything that happened, Pastor Chris. And then they go Pastor Chris' church again. It's his church. What told you is his church? It's not his church. is God's church. That's why you see some young men of God, when they just open, oh my God. They want to give you prophecy, you lie down. You lie down. They take the church for a playing center. See, if you know that the church is God's house, you will walk from your heart, not from your mind. The reason why we don't walk, we don't know. We say it's pastor's job. In the church tithe and offering. Is it not? They know they give money. Even though he was the pastor, God will still bless him outside the church. So the tithe and offering can still not make him what he would have still been. We have forgotten where we are coming from. If you know that the church is God's church, you will walk from your heart. I understand that thing when I was a little boy coming up. I said, no, the church is not owned by man, it's owned by God. So anytime I come to church and anybody want to distract me, I just change chair for you. I will change chair for you because I never came because of you. If it was because of you, I would have been sleeping in my house. And you see people don't come to church. They don't come that thing. That is why see, when I was coming back from where I went to fix up my laptop, I was so surprised what I was hearing. The Lord says, if I can still remember, he said, do you know that my own people are poor? As the day goes by, they are becoming more poor. I said, how? He said, when my son died, I was looking for who is a believer that is rich, that can go and bring him from the cross. I find nobody. I searched, I saw nobody. No influential believer. I went to carry an unbeliever. Joseph the Arimathea was not a believer. He was not a Christian. I went to use an unbeliever to do what a believer would have done. God wants to do something in row 12. He will go and search for an unbeliever to do. Then where are the believers in row 12? Yeah, they are believers for mouth. They don't know why they are called believers. They believe that because they are believers, they should be poor and wretched. They should be without no sense. Say, believer will come to the church. Hear a sound word of God. Hear a genuine word of God that is able to change somebody's life. After the service, they will fight. They can be starting fire. They are still putting something in mind against somebody. That two of them is starting the same fire. And after the service, so they have not shared the grace. That one have gone to approach. Come, I don't like the way you were talking. Yeah, we go fight here. And the next thing they don't hold, they will fight. But an unbeliever, you make him verse, he will leave the church for you. Just, I beg, I won't want to have problem with God because of you in this church. So stay here. I find another place. Or I stay in my house and serve my God. That's all. They will tell you, and then they go church. And they serve God from my house. And it's true. They're serving God from their house. It's true. Why are they serving God from their house? Because of how the believers. Because of how the believers, the same believers, how they think, how they behave, how they do what they do. The church is not any man's church. The church is God's church. And it is God that is building his church. So anything you are doing, do it because it is God's church. Any services you are rendering, render it because it is God's church. And that's what a believer can say. I've been going to church for 20 years now. I never see change. I don't know why my aunt there like this. Well, God, not a money. The church is God's house. Not any man. See, the church is not owned by any man. So even though you kill the man, you have not killed the spirit behind the man. you destroy the pastor, you have not destroyed the owner of the church. The owner of the church is the invisible man. That's why when I see people planting juju around the church, I used to laugh at them. Are they planting juju for me? No. You can't plant juju for me. You are planting juju for God. What you will see his result. That is why, as a believer, you must know that every service, in fact, if you know that you're a believer and you know what is church, you will know that every services you are rendering to God, if you don't repeat today, you will repeat tomorrow. If you don't reap them today, for any reason, definitely you will reap tomorrow. Dorcas is a practical example of this. When he died, the church prayed. He came back. The moment the church cried, they said, no, Dorcas cannot die. He came back. So what's our duty? It's Pastor Kunyi's church. That's all our mindset. That's what we're saying. Because he's Pastor Kunyi's church. I'm begging. Today's Bible study, I'm begging anywhere. Now Friday I'll go. I'll go on Friday. I'm begging go anywhere. Because you forget, and that's why we cannot be blessed. Because we are taking God's position and we'll put man. That's why I hate when people put me where they will put God.